What is up, all you real estate loving individuals? This is episode number 41 of the Real Estate Take Podcast, and I'm your host, Arnold Butler. This is a go-to podcast with tons of information regarding the current real estate market, where we get various real estate professionals' current take on different areas of real estate. For today's guest, we have Dave Seymour. Dave Seymour, a retired firefighter, became our top real estate investor during the last market crash. He's an expert in commercial multifamily and ground-up development transactions. Dave also starred in A&E's Flipping Boston and has been featured on CBS, ABC, CNBC, and Fox News. He helps both new and large investment groups through complex deals at Freedom Venture Investments, and Legacy Alliance is his education outlet, showing busy professionals how to master investing for cash flow and equity. So let's welcome in Dave. Dave, how are you doing today?
I'm good, brother. I love your end of the intro. For all you real estate loving people out there, welcome to the show. That's such a cool intro. What if they're not real estate? What if they're not real estate loving people? What if they're just some donkey who ended up on the wrong podcast? I guess we can convert them.
They're gonna start loving real estate after listening, right?
Yeah, they are. They're gonna get so engaged in it. They're gonna be like, I want to buy something now.
I need it now. But yeah, I used to just hear myself say, hey, everybody, all the time. And I'm trying to switch it up because I'm like, that's annoying. So I just added different things.
It gets repetitive. Hey, all you lonely people out there looking for a mate to live the rest of your life with, forget about it. Come buy some real estate. That'll get you happy. There you go. How's that for an intro?
I'll switch it up next time. To that. We'll use that.
No worries.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So I know I read your bio, but I always like to just do a quick, synopsis into who you are, how you got started, and just a quick lightning round of just like, tell me about yourself, right? So who are you? What got you into real estate, and what's like your true backstory?
Yeah, no worries. As you can already tell, I didn't come out of Yale University with a fine arts degree or any other kind of degree. Not from Yale, not from jail. As you said in the intro, brother, I'm a retired firefighter. I'm an immigrant to the States. I came from England in '86. I'm legal. I'm allowed to be here. I carry an American passport. So all you ICE agents, go somewhere else. But no, seriously, I'm a working class kid, blue collar. My old man was a heating and air conditioning guy. My mom was a secretary at a bank. There was no business. There was no entrepreneurship. There was no wealth creation. It just wasn't a discussion in the council estate, which is the English version of the projects. That we didn't talk about finance. We didn't talk about leverage. We didn't talk about good debt, bad debt, all the things that are so critical for us to be successful in real estate today. Yeah. So anyway, I came to the States in '86. I was 20 years old. I married an American woman. I bummed around for a while. I ended up in New England, where a friend of mine said to me, dude, you should get one of those good government jobs. I'm like, what are you talking about, Ray? What's a good government? They're not good government jobs right now, though, are they? What is it, like 700,000+, right?
We're not getting paid right now.
They're not getting paid. So maybe the good government job doesn't work anymore. But anyway, he said to me, why don't you go for one of those? I'm like, well, what's that, Ray? I'm kind of figuring it out. He goes, cop, firefighter, maybe you could be a mail worker, post office, something like that. I was always a little bit crazy around the edges. I applied for a couple of different jobs and I landed a job in New England, Lynn, Massachusetts. If you're a masshole, then if you're a masshole.
I grew up right around Mass, yeah.
Lynn, the city of sin. You never come out the way you went in. So, if you know Lynn, you know what I worked in. And I loved it. I loved the chaos. We worked some good fires. I was also a paramedic. So I dealt with a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, which is close to my heart because I'm sober myself 35 years. And it was a great career, brother. It really was a good career. It is a good government job. It's of service. The challenge was real simple though, bro. I bought my blue collar financial illiteracy with me from England. So very quickly found myself in a bad place during the crash. I was over leveraged on my house. I was losing my home. I'm banging out about 120 hours a week between 3 full-time jobs, construction on my days off, nights and weekends. I'm retail security, or pot roast police, as we used to call it, and fighting fires. It was nuts. It cost me a marriage. It almost cost me a home. And through a set of divine circumstances, I honestly believe it was God's plan. I'll just make it brief because I know our time is tight. But I was losing my house and I'm sitting down at Lynn Beach and I'm in my F-250 pickup truck working a bad construction company where everybody else got paid before I did. And I'm screaming at God and I'm like, what's up? Basically, I want to go toe to toe with the big guy, which I don't recommend for anybody. But anyway, I did. and I'm screaming and shouting, I'm crying. I got a wife and 2 kids, man. There's nothing humorous about financial ignorance. And I heard nothing. I turned the radio on in the truck. I'm ready to drive away. And I listened to news radio. There's a commercial came on. Teach me foreclosure, a free 1.5 hour seminar coming to your neck of the woods. And that's where it started, bro. I went to a real estate event. I invested money I didn't have. My wife became my first private lender. She put $37,000 on her credit cards for my real estate education.
Wow.
But I implemented it, and the rest is history. TV show, nice portfolios, buy, fix, and flip singles, hard money lending, private lending. And then today, I'm playing in a big sandbox. I raise private equity. We're a private equity firm. We teach people, like you said, how to do this business safely. We teach them how to do it with an alliance and a collaboration with us. So it's a good time. It's a good time. While everybody else is running away, we go running in. It's the firefighter mentality, bro. You bring that to the table. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was going to ask that question too. Like, do you think just having that firefighter mentality, just always running towards like the chaos, like when the crash was happening, this was back in like 2008 that you got in, right?
Yeah.
So
8, 9, 10,
yeah. When the crash was happening, like most people were like, I'm not going anywhere near real estate, right? But like, what in your mind when you listened to that thing on the radio, you were like, all right, this might be an opportunity? Because most people, even like financial literacy, like maybe in your position, would have been like, screw that. Like, I'm getting screwed by my house right now anyway. So why would I go do more of that? Like, what was the difference in like your mind, and what made you like jump into it? Kind of similar to today, right? Because the economy is pretty hard. Real estate's pretty difficult. It's been difficult the last 3 years. What was your mindset going in, and like, what could you tell people like how to think about it instead of just being like,
that's it, dude. You just went right to the core of the whole freaking thing right there. So good. No, that's good. Look, some people just pussyfoot around these things. Here's what it is. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. If you're sitting on the sidelines when you're with a puckered sphincter and you're too scared to get in the game, then guess what? You ain't going to get anything, right? I've been beaten into a state of reasonableness through my own ignorance. What choices did I have? Guy said to me one time, he said, Dave, you pick which floor of the elevator you want to get off on, bro. He said, you can go all the way to the bargain basement if you want and get out there and swim around in all the crap. He said, oh, you can get off on one of the higher floors. It's up to you. He said, but if you just keep on riding this same elevator up and down, nothing's going to change. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I believed him. I was a walking, talking testimonial to ignorance. And I took my pride and my ego and I stuck it where the sun don't shine. And I just followed other successful people. You say to me, what was the matrix or what was the schematic at that period of time? I was out of choices, man. And I had a flashback as you were talking. I had a flashback. I was doing a construction job in Boston in January. And there was me and 3 South American gentlemen on a 4-man motorized auger trying to drill through 4 feet because I had to put in a deck in January because I had to make a buck. And it was comedic watching us spin around on this auger. It was like a cartoon scene. And I thought to myself, there has to be something better. There has to be something different. And as that was going on, a car pulled up and it was a nicer car. I think it was a BMW. One very good looking young lady and 2 dudes. The dudes were all dressed all artsy fartsy. I think one of them even had a man bun. It was the full soup to nuts thing, right? And they looked happier. They were dressed better. Their car was nicer. And I said to one of the other guys on the job, who's that? And he went, those are the investors. So this was during a period of time when people were running away. It was Warren Buffett. And I know it's kind of cheesy, but it's so appropriate. When everybody else is greedy, be fearful. And when everybody else is fearful, be greedy. And the economy right now is sitting in a state of fear. That is your cue. To anybody listening to this, when everybody else is fearful, that is your cue to go for it. Find the fundamentals, get something that's implemented that's not Bitcoin or that coin or this or that or anything else. It sticks and frickin' bricks. You can touch them, you can see them, you can lick the lead paint, you can inhale the asbestos. It's beautiful. Get in there. Get in there. Get off the bench and get in. And you see me, dude. My whole personality changes when I go there. It's like, because I know what it took. I know what it took to overcome that fearful period in my life. It was a case of faith in a higher power, faith in my family, faith in my education, and then faith in myself. Get some cojones and do something. And don't sit there crying and whining when you get your butt handed to you with a changing economy, which unfortunately is going to happen to hundreds of thousands of Americans when they watch their 401k shrink. The government employees are going, where's my money? The people with their hand out instead of their hand up, they're all screaming and shouting right now because they're worried about their food stamps not getting paid. Society's screwed, bro. The government won't help you. They're not there to fix you. Get off your ass and get in the game. And that was the message I heard. And as you can see, like I said, my demeanor changes. That's the message I give. That I have intolerance for intolerant people, right? I just don't have it. Get going. So sorry, dude. I got all soapboxy there. But
no, that's okay. Well, I mean, like it's just like the definition of insanity is just doing the same stuff again and again and hoping for a different outcome. So like a lot of people just do the same stuff again and again and again, and they're like, why is this not changing? But like you will never know or never change unless you take that leap of faith, which is like what you did, just saying like, screw it, let's go, let's put one foot in front of the other and just make stuff happen. But let's go back to when you got started, because I know today you do like multifamily, ground up development for multifamily. You've been on TV shows, you've been on CBS, whatever, right? But how did you like get started during that time, and how can you relate it to today's market and how people can get started? Like maybe someone's like, I want to do what you're saying. Like I feel the passion. I have the passion to do it, but he's like, I just don't know how to get started. I don't have the money. I don't have the money to even learn. I don't, like, no one wants to teach me. Like, where do I get a mentor? Like, how did you get primarily started? And then how did you kind of grow from there? Yeah,
again, great questions, brother, and I appreciate them. The first TV interview we did, we were like a couple of deers in the headlight, me and my ex-partner, Pete. And it was a Squawk Box, and they did a satellite interview on us from New York to the Boston studio. And the guy was breaking my balls at the end of it. He's like, other than getting a national TV show, what would you suggest somebody does so that they could get started? Right. So he asked the same question you just asked, only he was being a confrontational jerk. He's being a journalist, right? Clickbait wasn't even clickbait back then. But anyway, he was standard
compliment while asking you a question.
He's trying to be a D-bag, right? So anyway, he throws that question out there. And I don't know where it came from. I think today it was, once again, God tapping me on the shoulder. But a line just came to me and I threw it at him, and it's appropriate today. And the line I gave him on that TV show was, educate, don't speculate. Right? Educate, don't speculate. So your question was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-fold, right? How did you start? Where did you start? What did you do? If somebody else is trying to do it, I got no money, I got no mentorship, I don't even have the money to learn, blah, 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 blah. Congratulations. Those are all excuses, and you'll be the person who doesn't do anything. Well done. Bravo. Let's give you a round of applause, Hercules, for complaining rather than finding solutions to problems. So now let's talk to the people who will do something, not the whiners and the criers and the bench warmers. Let's talk to the people who are actually going to get in the game. Now, for them, you'll either pay for your education one way or another. You'll pay for it through your own mistakes because you just go for it because you're passionate and you see the opportunity, or you pay for your education through other people's mistakes. And I always recommend somebody else's mistake. And that's what I did. I mean, I went to that real estate seminar, Wendell, and it was 3 days. It was like $200 to go there. And imagine this. They then hit us up for like $35,000 worth of mentorship afterwards. And I remember looking at my wife, Mary Beth, and I said to her, I said, you know, babe, what do you want to do? Because I can't keep doing what I've been doing, right? Like, to your point, that's the definition of insanity. She said, are you going to actually do this? I said, I will do it if we get an opportunity to do it, because what I can't keep doing this is going to cost me a marriage. It's going to cost me a house. It's going to cost me my relationships with my kids. And she said to me, go get them, killer. She said, I'm proud of you and I love you. And it was like the first time I'd ever been kind of like given permission to go crush it. And I looked at her, I said, I'm so glad you said that, because my credit cards are maxed out. We got to use yours. And that's why seriously, dude, that's why I called him my private lender. So if you're listening to this show and you say you don't have the money, you're wrong. Money's everywhere. Money is looking for somewhere to go. It's looking for somewhere to go to work. Can you convince somebody that you know, trust, and love to support you? Look, this is my goal. These are the people that I'm going to follow. Here's their track record. It looks like it's going to be a really nice plan, especially going into 26, 7, and 8. We see that there's a lot of multifamily debt that's going to be repositioned. It's distressed. Yeah. We see that there's opportunities in secondary, tertiary market. For a couple of grand, you can learn the whole thing with my company alone. You don't have to go spend $35,000 like I did. We've compressed what we do into an 8-week online tutorial, which then supports our students with our software programs that we use for underwriting and analysis, our software programs for lead generation. I mean, I would have spent $50,000, $60,000 on this thing back in the day if I'd have had it. You know, I've had to be in the trenches and learn it. So it's not a case I don't have the money. It's a case of, are you going to implement what you learn? That, my friend, is the key right there. Implementation is the key to salvation. When I came out of that class, Wendell, just as a side story, when I came out of that class, I think there was probably 50 students who had all signed up for the advanced training. And we were supposed to go do like a local mentorship day where we were looking at real estate and blah, 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 blah. And out of that 50, I went to the class and there were 30. Then 3 weeks later, there were 10. And then 6 weeks after, 6 weeks after that, I'm still running like a crazy man. Let's go! Come on, everybody. I look around and everyone's gone, bro. They're not implementing. They're complaining. They're whining. So again, I don't have tolerance for it. So implement, is key. Educate, don't speculate is key. You'll find money for, let's say one of your children gets sick tomorrow and you need to up your deductible on your insurance because insurance is through the roof. I promise you, brother, you will find the money to take care of the people that you love. So don't give me the excuse and say I can't find the money to educate myself in 5th grade mathematics, which is what real estate really is. It's 5th grade math. Just implement it and the magic follows.
Yeah, I think with today there's a lot of, I would say it's mostly like my age group, like the millennials. It's like they want such a quick fix for everything, right? So I blame it a lot on social media as part of the reason too. There's a lot of people that are like, get rich quick, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it takes time and you have to actually work. Right. You can't just like buy a course and all of a sudden Dave's going to give you like the secret formula and then you're a millionaire. Yeah. No, he's going to give you the tools to then implement. And then if you keep doing it and keep taking one foot in front of the other and doing exactly those steps and learning and just networking and just meeting people, you're going to be successful. Like there's no way. The only way that you're not successful is if you stop and don't implement it. If you have the tools, you can do it. Right. But with today, I think there's just a lot of people that just want that quick fix, which is unfortunate, but it's just what it does. Right. Is that mentality then allows, if you can get past that, you have so much more opportunity because everybody else wants a quick fix. They're going to quit early. Now you're going to be more successful because you're going to beat the rest of the herd. Just like what you were doing, right? 50 people in the class started and you're like almost the last one left. Like,
last one standing.
You could say like, that sounds like it was really hard, but Dave got through it, but it's also, it was really hard, but he got through it. And now there's no more like all those competitors, the 50 students are gone. Like he made it through and now he's kicking ass, right? So people always think about the short term. You got to think about the long term and you got to just, again, like you said, you got to take action steps and implement. So that's awesome. And again, I always believe in mentorships. I believe in learning from other people's mistakes. It's way easier and it's way less costly than going and make a mistake yourself by trying to save like a couple thousand without using a mentorship, right? You're going to lose like 50,000 in your first flip if you mess up, right?
That's right.
That's way worse than paying someone $3,000 to just ask questions and learn from them. But people don't look at it that way. And that's just a short-term type of nature. And you got to get that out of your head. You got to think long-term. You got to think implement action. Actionability creates success. Now I want to talk about like how you got onto TV and stuff, flipping Boston. Like, I think that's amazing. And I grew up around Boston. I grew up in Connecticut, Mass, Rhode Island. You can probably hear my Mass whole accent a little bit. Yeah. How did that come about? And like, so let's dive into the truth a little bit, because I've heard things about TV shows and getting in real estate. It's like, it's fun, right? It's cool. You get a lot of notoriety. People know of you, but it also kind of sucks because the TV crew and the productions like making you do stuff that doesn't make sense investment wise, but you have to do it for TV, right? Production. You got to just like dive into that a little bit, because I'm always interested. And I think the interested in it too.
Every single thing that you've ever seen on a reality TV show is true. Look, man, how did I get the show? I got the show because I was at a seminar. I challenged one of the guru speakers to his comedic ability. This guy was also a firefighter. And because we were both firefighters and I had a little experience with a little stand-up comedy back in the day in London, this guy hired me. You're my new speaker coach. I'll give you $1,500 and fly you down to Florida. And I'm like, this guy's full of crap, dude. This ain't going to happen. But he gave me his cell number. So then I got on that side with the gurus. And then back then, there were a couple of gurus coming up. Guys you might know, guy by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk, guy by the name of Russell Brunson. There were these internet marketing guys in that period of time, the 2005, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, it was a boom market for the internet and that kind of format, as well as the live events. Anyway, long story short, Russell Brunson sent me a link. He said, Dave, you're a funny bastard. You're also a firefighter. I know you're flipping houses. You should apply for a show. And that's what I did. I sent in a vanilla application online. I loaded it with profanity because I knew that I had to separate myself from the rest of the pack. My last comment was, don't waste my effing time. Get on a plane, train, or automobile. Come up here to Boston where we beat the effing shit out of this. Don't call me, right? Phone rings, 212 area code. I pick it up. I said, I thought I told you not to call me. Hang up the phone. I'm like, come on, man. You got to go with the gag. Call me back. Kid calls me back. He was actually from the South Shore. He was from Plymouth. And he goes, he was
probably loving it. He's probably loving it.
Yeah, he was loving it. He's like, this guy. He goes, you're a funny bastard. He said, oh, you're an idiot. He said, you're either a genius or a lunatic. I said, what's the difference, numbnuts? Let's go. That's how we got the show, man. They come up, they filmed a little bit. But then we did 3 episodes. We thought we were going to be 3 and out. And we got the highest ratings on a Saturday morning slot for A&E. Yeah, we crushed it, bro. And then they come back and they're like, okay, yeah, you did good. You did good. We need 15 more episodes. I'm like, what?
Jesus.
So then you're scrabbling. The production company became our private lender because they had the dojo.
Wow.
So we could buy some houses. We had access to capital. We had access to deal flow. And we started cranking out the episodes. But after 4 seasons, Dave, lay the tile down badly and pick it up again. No, I don't want to anymore. I don't want to play this. Oh, my God. The water burst. Commercial break. Don't worry, we fixed it. That's amazing. That being said, there were a few of our episodes where some real life crap really went down, and it went down well, and we caught it on film. There's one episode called The Nosy Neighbor, and this guy was a peach. God bless him. He was pissed because we bought the house next to him, and he wanted to buy it. So he did everything he could in his power to annoy the crap out of us, to the point that he kept on inviting the camera crew over to his house to blow bones and drink beers during the day. That's how crazy this guy was, man. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. I nearly got him to a sober meeting. Like I told you, I'm sober 35 years. Yeah. He's in the backyard with me one day complaining about his wife. He's like, she's always on my butt for the drinking. I go, I know a place, brother. We could go. We could go to this place where we don't drink. We live good lives. If you ever want, no, I don't want to go there. At 1 minute, they thought they had an intervention show instead of a real estate show. So we had some fun, but it got to be a pain in the ass at the end. There was some internal stuff that was challenging, but it ran its course. It was fun. Look, dude, I'll be frank with you. And I wouldn't be on here with you now if that TV show didn't fly. Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's amazing how just like social media, like TV networking and stuff, like it just gets your name out there, and then people start reaching out because they like you, like your personality. And it's more they like your personality. It's not really like what you're doing. So like you're obviously a funny, lighthearted guy, and you like make it a fun time, right? You obviously make it a fun time in real estate, and you have fun with it. You want to work with people like that, right? If you were the type of guy that was just like behind a desk, like numbers, just all he cared about was numbers, money, didn't want to talk to people.
In my eyes.
You wouldn't be like where you are today, I don't think, because it just doesn't. Honestly, personality over profits is kind of like a good term, because people want to work with people that they like rather than making like way more money. Like if I could make like $500,000 working with a piece of shit, or work with someone I really love working with for like $250, I'd probably just go with a guy work with and make $250, because like the $250,000 extra isn't worth it dealing with that.
I had a guy who was stroking me a check on one of our equity deals for I think it was like $350,000. That's not chump change, right? That's a good piece of cash. And he's writing this check out, and he looks at me and he goes, David. I go, yeah. He goes, I understand about 95% of this deal. I go, okay, that's good. What can I help you with on the other 5%? He goes, I don't want to hear any more about the deal. I go, oh, okay, but you're still writing the check. He goes, yeah. And then he looked at me and he goes, Dave, I'm betting on the jockey. I ain't betting on the horse. He says, so don't fall off the horse. I'm like, okay, bud. So to your point, it's true. People will, and you know what? That's reciprocal, by the way. If you are a miserable individual, I don't care how big your checkbook is. I don't want you affecting my life. And I don't mean that in an unpleasant way. I mean that in a barrier way, like the inner circle, if you will. If you're coming on the inside, you want to be in the sandpit with the cool kids, man. Let's go up in the treehouse and play. Let's not be running through traffic and being miserable. So absolutely, I'm with you 100% on that philosophy.
Love it. So I'll finish up with 2 questions. One, I'm going to take it back to just that conversation you had with your wife, right? And just, I'm going to try to form a question out of this that hopefully doesn't confuse myself, but your support from your wife, like it's obviously was a huge factor in you getting going, right? Yeah. Now you can get that same support, like networking and finding like a business partner and stuff like that. But how important was that to you to even get going? And like, kind of, how would you, I guess if someone's alone and they're like scared to make a first step or whatever, like, would you say networking and just like having kind of your wife having your back, or like a really good partner, like, is that one of your biggest reasons for success as well? Just I like to always talk about life too, just life and just like whole life, right? Like what is the reason you're successful, which is all that, right?
You're right there again, dude. You're hitting it hard. It's good stuff. This is a conversation that you and I could have for hours on end, and both of us, even with our different age groups, brother, we're going to walk away with value from each other's life experiences. So how important was my wife in that decision? There were 2 things. When we put 30 or 35 grand on her credit cards, I did something that day that I'd never done before in my life. And that was I purchased some accountability. I'm now accountable. No longer just flapping my gums and talking turkey. Now it's real. Now the you know what is hitting the fan because I've got to perform. We were about 30, 45 days in from that credit card transaction, and I hadn't done much. I was scared, bro. I'm dancing around the periphery. And my wife's from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, right? She's a Woonsocket. She's a Woonsocket French Canadian rocket, 5 feet tall, 110 pounds soaking wet, labor and delivery nurse, been on the front line, fearless, right? And I remember the little her standing there in the kitchen with her arms crossed like this, tapping her foot. And she's like, hey, big dog, hello? Are we doing this? Or are you just dancing around this? What do you need? And she was there. It was like she was right there. And I remember a year later, I'm telling that story from the most expensive suite at the Hilton in St. Thomas. And as I'm doing a podcast on that story or a webinar or whatever. And as I'm telling that, she didn't know I was doing it. She walks past me with a floppy hat on, a bikini, and a glass of red wine. She walks past me in the camera shot, right on cue. And I'm like, she has no regrets about supporting me today, right? Has it been easy? No. Have we had challenges around it? Yes. But when you love somebody the way I love my wife and vice versa, the money isn't the goal. The goal is comfort. The goal is assistance. The goal is serving others. The goal is support, talking about it. Not being the boxed off man. I'm the man. I'm going to fix this stuff. She goes, will you stop fixing stuff and start listening to me? Yes, honey, I will. So it's a process and a learning curve. Now, if you don't have that significant other in your life, find them. And then secondly, you are the common denominator of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. So your network equals your net worth. I know it's cheesy. You heard it on a seminar line. I don't give a shit. It's true. It's true. Information in, information out. So if you come along with us, you got a team that's there to support you and do stuff. If you don't come along with us, go with Wendell and his team. They're there to support you. If you're not going to go with Wendell or me, I beg of you, don't go for the guy that's going, money, money. I got a Rolls Royce and a private jet. He's an asshole. I'm just telling you up front. Don't go with him. Okay. Go with local groups. Find your real estate investment groups. Find people in the marketplace that are doing deals. Find other investors that have written those checks for 200, 300 on an equity position on a large commercial deal. Get a feel for what's going on around you. Keep your eyes open. And please do not practice contempt prior to investigation. Contempt prior to investigation will kill your personal life and your business life because you're making decisions based on imaginary things rather than the reality of what they are. So that's my best way of answering that one. Kind of circular.
I love that. I love that. That's perfect. And again, if you don't know anybody that's in real estate or whatever, or you don't have any network groups around and you're just like, I don't know what to do, just start one. You can just start a networking group. It's so easy. I started one like 2 months ago just because I was like, I don't like the networking groups going around, and I already have like 50 plus people coming every single month. There's people out there that want to come. Just do it. Just take a step forward and just do it. And it's really easy with technology today. Just go on meetup.com, post like event, networking, blah, 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 ChatGPT, tell it to make a description for you. And all of a sudden people will show up. And then all of a sudden you're networking, you're meeting people. All of a sudden you might have a mentor. It's amazing.
There you go. Absolutely.
Right. So I know you're busy, man. I close out just with giving you the floor to kind of talk about how people can reach out to you, maybe a little bit about Legacy Alliance, if you want to give a little plug for that, and then just close out that way. But yeah, the floor is yours.
Yeah, look, if you are genuinely interested in learning the commercial side of this business, spend a little time with us. Legacy Alliance Wealth Masterclass, free class. We run you through it online, and all these show notes will be there for your listeners anyway, Wendell. But it's a chance for you to listen to the presentation, listen to why we think now is really one of the most opportune times there is to get in because of the alignment of circumstances in the commercial real estate marketplace. I mean, geopolitically, financially, there's so much craziness going on right now. That's so prime because everybody's off guard. We come in with fundamentals as a group. There's a chance to work with our funding partners. There's a chance to align yourself with us. We don't have to do a deal together. Learn the process and implement. So you can do that with Legacy Wealth Masterclass. You can find us at Legacy Alliance. We have a documentary we put together. We filmed it about 6-8 months ago down in Florida called Inflation Nation. Full documentary, gives you some great information, lets you know what's going on with the BRIC nations. If you don't know who the BRIC nations are, you should. The US currency is not what it was. It's not going in a good direction. what's next, right?
Yeah.
The blockchain guys are all screaming from the mountaintops that we're going to tokenize everything. We're going to tokenize buying underwear. Everything's going to be tokenized. That's not my world. My world is slow and steady and boring. It's the Clydesdale of real estate. It's commercial real estate. People go to work and pay rent. So we can teach you all of that stuff. If you want to check us out purely for our investment firm, you can find us at freedomventure.com, or just Google my name, Dave Seymour. All of the stuff from America's Most Wanted has been pushed way down in the Google search now, so you won't find that anymore.
They'll go to the 10th page and beyond.
Yeah. LinkedIn is always a good spot to find me. Just say, hey, I heard you shooting a breeze with Wendell, and we'll see if we can connect.
Love it. Well, thank you for coming on, Dave. It's amazing to get to meet you and talk with you. You've done so much, and you really are just like a good personality. And again, no wonder people wanted you on TV and stuff. You're just great. A great energy, and I love it. And thank you all for listening. I want to put all the information in the bio below as well, so you can easily reach out to Dave if needed, or learn more about what he's got going on. And thank you for listening. And thanks again, Dave.